Carlos, were you seeing the same things out of Peterson today that you saw in his last start?
Yes, on that second inning, not only teams are super aggressive against him, especially early in counts, but he's having a hard time executing pitches glove side, meaning inside to righties. And there's a lot of pitches all over the plate, and it's hard contact there. There's nothing like when he's going well, it's the two seam, he comes in, the slider down and into to righties. And like I said, right now he's having a hard time. I thought he made some good adjustments after they got him there in the second inning, but I think it's just the execution part that for the last couple turns you see that.
Any thoughts as to why teams these last couple of outings have been so aggressive against him?
Well, I think when teams are going through scouting reports and they're watching past outings, recent outings, and teams are having success, that plays a part to it. So we got to make adjustment, but I think he's got to be able to come in so he can open up that part of the plate.
Mike?
Carlos, it's only 2 starts, but is there reason to be concerned with Peterson?
No, if he's healthy, which he is, there's no concern. He's too good of a pitcher. He's been our guy. He just got to make a couple of adjustments there and go from there.
Also, Benj snapped the offer with the hit in his last at-bat. Overall, what have you just seen in his at-bats here during this stretch?
Honestly, yesterday, I think I said it before the game today, they were better at bats. His work today was a lot better, shorter, barrel coming through the zone. Even in a couple of pitches that he fouled off today, the path was better. Good to see him getting that hit right there, but I think he's going to be fine.
Will?
Hey, Carlos, so you don't anticipate considering a change there for the rotation with Peterson?
As I'm sitting here right now, no.
Just what do you think of Benaya's outing?
Good. Kept us there, was able to finish the game. Obviously, a couple of plays there that we couldn't make, gave up a couple of runs there. But overall, I thought he was aggressive. The way he's moving on the mound with his delivery, I thought he was good.
Peter?
You just kind of touched on it, but the play that Robert couldn't make in center field, was that wind, or what did you see there?
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird because he got there. Maybe that ball just kept on going and went a little farther than he anticipated from the dugout. It looked that way. As soon as the ball was hit, I didn't think he was going to get that far. But he got there, just missed it.
David, obviously pretty similar outing to your last time. What for you has been your analysis of why the early innings have gone the way they have?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to leaving balls up and away, and they were able to take advantage of those as well as some of the other hits they had. I think it's kind of a similar story as last time. We start using the 4-seam up and in and kind of get them off their plan, and kind of opens everything else up. So I think the 3rd through the 5th we did a lot better job. Felt a little off mechanically in the first 2 innings. Was able to kind of clean that up and get back to where I wanted to be, but that's kind of it.
Mendy said that he thought you've been having a little bit of difficulty just executing that pitch inside to righties. Is that something, you talk about the mechanics feeling off, that your mechanics are preventing you from doing early on?
I don't think I've had a problem executing that pitch. I don't think we've gone there enough. I think we've relied on the sinker and changeup too much. And allowed hitters to kind of sit over the plate. So I think, in my eyes, it's more about usage than it is execution. But yeah.
What can you take from those last 3 innings into your next start and your work in between?
I think that's when I'm on, that's how I feel. Going right after guys, attacking with all my pitches, constantly being in and around the zone and getting weak contact. So yeah, I think it's good to end that way, but would have liked to avoid what happened in the second.
How has these teams jumping on you the last 2 outings, the way they have affected what you've been able to use and kind of what you've been able to work through out there?
Well, I think it just makes us look at our plan, makes us look at the usage, kind of the way we're going about sequencing, and correct it from there.
When it comes to sequencing, I'm assuming that changes from team to team, the opponent. How do you go through that process?
Yeah, I mean, you have your game plan. You go into the game with your game plan, and things are going to change game to game, inning, hitter to hitter. So yeah, I think like I said, made the adjustment. The results were a lot better. I think all my pitches got better, and so I think it's continuing to clean some of that stuff up.
Given especially that your next one is in LA, I guess what is the urgency to figure it out as quickly as you possibly can?
Doesn't matter where my next one is. Fix what happened and move forward. So, it doesn't matter who we're going up against or where it is. Just be better for the next one and learn from it.
What's your level of confidence that you'll be able to do that?
Extremely high.
Sean, after your last outing, you were pretty happy about finding something. Did today feel like a continuation of that?
Yeah, for sure. Each day is just we're trending in the right direction. I thought my changeup and sweep were really good, and the sinker was kind of lost it there. I think it was Perdomo and Tawa, but overall I thought things were trending in the right direction.
When you talk about the work you're putting in to get back on track, what specifically have you been focusing on doing to get there?
Been doing a lot of drills, a lot of things just get me in the right positions to, I guess, potentially just feel better. And each day we have like a little plan and just execute that. And it's definitely not going to be an immediate change, but I think over time it'll be we'll see the results.
Before the game, Carlos indicated there's no plan right now to insert you into the six-man rotation. Just what's the disappointment in that you're not going to be pitching in the rotation?
No disappointment. I'm here to help this team win in any way that I can, and right now, this is my job is to do what I've been doing, and I'm very, very happy doing that. So, like I said before, we got 5 really, really good starting pitchers, and clean up whatever I can.
Did you think that this might have been the week, though, just given that it's 9 days without an off day? Guys are going to be going on 4 days rest now pretty routinely.
I haven't thought too much into that. Right now I'm just worried about recovering and getting ready for the next game.
Has there been something gratifying about the long relief role, especially considering how much the bullpen was used yesterday?
Yeah, the bullpen puts in so much work, season in, season out, and being in this role really, appreciate all the work that those guys do, and it's just a different way, and I'm happy to be helping these guys out because they've helped me out plenty of times throughout my career.
As you're working between starts, are you at a point where you're kind of trying to recreate like positions in your delivery that you used to have, or are you kind of feeling for new things that feel comfortable, if that makes sense?
I would say a mixture of both. I feel like the biggest thing is just I'm like leaning too far forward, so I'm not able to like rotate without getting too technical. And we've kind of just counteracting all that stuff with drills and water bags and plow balls and all these different things.
How were the elements today? Was it a challenge to pitch in the weather?
No, yeah, it was. I mean, it was cold, but that weather wasn't bad.
That's 10 years ago.
Yeah. It's amazing, I just can't believe it's finally here. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and there's not many guys that have been able to say that, and it's just a very cool, proud moment for myself, and but I wouldn't be here without everybody else, and so it's a collective, and it's really cool to say I've got 10 years of service. So it's crazy, can't believe it.